Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maddie and welcome to my world. For today's video, it is going to be a sit-down talk video, and it's a very important topic, which is mental health. And I really wanted to sit down and kind of just talk to you guys and give you guys a real honest update of how my life's been, how I've been, and just something that I struggle with, because I've talked about my mental health before on here. I feel like a couple times, and I even started a little podcast in like January, which I fell off on because but I've talked about my mental health multiple times, and I thought I would just give you guys a real and honest update on like where I am right now in my life and how everything is going, because although I usually seem okay, life has been pretty hard recently, and I definitely want to kind of just talk about it, also because I know a lot of other people struggle out there, and I like to share my experiences because I want other people to know like you're not alone. And also I just like being real on my channel. I feel like that's one thing that I've always wanted to be on my channel, is just as real as possible, because I feel like it's important to like not put on this fake persona, because I never really saw a point in that. Before I get into the video, a little disclaimer is that you may hear my baby brother or my mom in the background. I'm actually at my mom's house right now filming this. If you've been around for a while, you may recognize this room because this is my room. I'm barely at my mom's house anymore since I moved out and live with my boyfriend. But this is my OG setup, my OG room. I got my tapestries and my pansexual flag up there. Got all my pop figures over there. So sorry if you guys hear background noises throughout this video. But I wanted to make this video as soon as possible because I've had a lot on my mind recently, and I just want to make sure that I get it all out and don't forget. So to begin, if you're not new here, like I already said, I've talked about mental health before. I have had depression since I was in like 6th grade. And then throughout time, I got diagnosed with different things. I got diagnosed with BPD, bipolar, anxiety, and I also have anorexia, which is an eating disorder. So I got a bit of stuff going on. But if you're new here, I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm talking about specifically. So I've had depression for a very long time. And I feel like at first for me, it wasn't like extremely hard to live with. Like 6th grade, like 7th grade, like I had like my moments, but it wasn't like as bad as it has been or as bad as it is now. I feel like when I got older, it kind of just got worse as time went on. And also, not just because I was getting older, but because I went through different things. So I went through a lot of different things with friends, with family, relationships, just life events, like going to cosmetology school and graduating high school early. Like I just went through a lot of different things. So like throughout all of that, things got worse. I also struggle with self-harm, and that started in 8th grade. And 8th grade is also when I had my first like thought, and it was very scary. And I was really confused because I've never had thoughts like that, but it kind of just like hit me, like it like just popped in my head. And I remember I was like taking a shower and it like just popped in my head, and I was like, what? Like, and like I jumped out. I remember I like jumped out of the shower and like I was like freaking out. So 8th grade, I had like a couple hard moments. I started with self-harm, and I had like my first suicidal thought, And I think from there, things only progressed. And things like definitely took a change. Um, but I would say 8th grade and ninth grade were pretty rough. But like even though I was going through all that, I felt like it was like manageable, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, I was depressed and I was sad and like all that, but like it wasn't like constant. I self-timed in 8th grade for the first time, and I did that once, and then like it didn't even pop in my mind again until 2 or 3 years later. And same with the suicidal thoughts. Like it popped in my head like a bit, but like it wasn't constant. It was never constant. And then like all of a sudden, the older I got, like the worse things kind of got, like I said. But in 2021, I went through a lot of different things with friendships, with schools, like with cosmetology school, with relationships, a lot of different stuff. And I feel like ever since 2021, I have been on this just downward spiral since then. And it's just been constant. I feel like there have been some like grace periods, but they don't last very long. And it's just been a crazy, crazy ride. So this video, I want to like talk about how I am right now, but I do need to give context, because if I don't, you guys are gonna be like kind of confused, I feel. But anyway, so yeah, ever since 2021 till now, I feel like I have just been in this spiral. And I feel like most of the time it's just been downward. I feel like, sorry, my boyfriend walked in because he didn't know I was recording a video, so I had to like stop it. But I feel like if like I'm using like a roller coaster, for example, like roller coasters go like this, my roller coaster has been going like this, like, and then it like maybe flat lines and then goes down. Like it's not like this. Like it's not like, I feel like a lot of people have ups and downs in life regardless of if you have mental illness or not, because life events happen, like, you know. So I feel like you don't need depression to like have your life go like this or anything like that. But like instead of it going like, I feel like, I don't want to say normal, I don't like using the word normal people, or like people, I don't know how to explain it, but I guess like I feel like in my brain, I could be wrong, I feel like in my brain, like normal people's lives kind of go like this, but my life personally, I feel like, you know, used to kind of go like this, but now it's like this, and then a little up and down. Then sometimes it's like this, just like straight across. And that's how I've been feeling since 2021. In 2021, I did start self-harming again. And so that has been a struggle as well. And when I was in cosmetology school, I think it was the worst I ever was with that. It was just constant, daily, every week, and anytime something was going wrong, I just felt like that was the only thing that could help me, and so I relied on it a lot. If you're not new here, you also know that I have gone to 2 mental hospitals this past year. I went to one in October of 2023, right before 2024 started, which was the first time I ever went, and I went to Florida for that. And then in January, I went again to one that was in New York. And I had very different experiences. Florida was also a rehab, and so it was very, very different. We had a lot more freedom, and we were able to like do a lot of things, versus when I was in New York, it was more set up like a prison. We could not have like a lot of things. We couldn't do a lot of things, and we never left the building, where in Florida we actually got to go different places. We got to like go to horse therapy, or if you were in church, you got to go to church, or if like you wanted to get your nails done on like a Saturday, we would all go as a group. And like, so like, because it was half rehab, half mental health, it was very, very different. But yeah, so I've had a couple different experiences when it came to the hospitals. um, I had a good experience and a bad experience at both of them. I also, like, they kind of gave me some trauma too, if I'm not gonna lie, on top of everything else. Like, mental health hospitals are like supposed to help, but sometimes they just don't, and sometimes they like help a little bit, and it really depends on your situation and where you go. Because like even just Florida versus New York, so different, so different. And it was just like, when I think about the differences, it's just crazy. But me personally, I would say that the mental hospitals helped me a little bit, but like it didn't last, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like when I went to Florida, when I came back, I felt good. I felt like I kind of had, like, I guess you could say hope. I had like this hope. I was like, okay, like I just went to this mental hospital, like everything's gonna go good now, like I got this, I could do this. And then it slowly unraveled, and it didn't really work out the way that I thought. And then the same thing happened when I went away in New York. I got put on medication in both of these places. I am now off all my medication, which I will get into more later. But like, so I kind of just was like trying to be as hopeful and as positive as possible. So like, I was just like, okay, like this is a new start. Like, both times that I went to mental hospital, when I came back, I was like, okay, this is a new start. Like, we're starting from the bottom, and this is gonna be a new start, and like I got it. But mental health is just such a roller coaster, and it's basically a never-ending battle. And with that being said, like, because it is a never-ending battle, I have lost a lot of hope. Because it's like, you know, with me personally, like, one day I could be doing so good, and then nothing can change, but the next day is so hard and I can't do anything, and it really makes you feel defeated and hopeless. And I think one of the worst things about people with like depression or stuff like that is the hopelessness that we feel is out of this world. And mental health is just such a scary thing to go through, like mental health problems, because it is the reason some people take their lives. Like, it's, I know some people don't understand mental health, and if you don't have mental health issues, like sometimes it can be hard to understand, but like it really is like dangerous in a way. But anyway, so yeah, went to 2 mental hospitals this past year, and I relapsed with self-harm like shortly after I got back in October, and that made me feel super defeated. And then in January, when I came back, I was actually clean for 6 months from self-harm, which is the longest I have been in such a long time. But now that brings us closer to now. So after January, I was trying my best to, you know, keep positive. I wanted to try and, like, do normal things again. And what I mean by that is, something I have struggled with ever since my mental health got bad in 2021 was working. It has been really hard for me to keep a job and work because I just can't find that nice balance in between mental health and work. When my mental health is bad, it's usually really bad. It's paralyzing and like crippling, and I usually can't function. So, like, say for example, I am really depressed. Usually I can't get out of bed. I don't brush my teeth or take care of myself. I don't want to eat or can't eat. And I am just basically paralyzed. Which I know I sound dramatic, but I'm trying to explain it in the best way possible. So you guys can like understand, or maybe if you have felt this, you know, like, oh, I know exactly what she's talking about. But so yeah, I have struggled a lot. Sorry for my brother. I have struggled a lot with working, and so when I came back in January, I gave myself a little break, but I was like, you know what? I want to try and get my life back, because I've mentioned this a little bit. I mentioned it in my birthday video, like my last week as like my last week as a teenager. I think I named that or something. But I feel like my like mental illnesses have taken a lot from my life. I feel like I've lost a lot of like my life because of my mental illnesses, because they've held me back, because they've disabled me and have not like helped me at all. And like when I look back like on these past couple of years, like all I think of is how depressed I've been, and how that's been like eating away at me, and how it's taken so much like from me. But so I wanted to try and get my life back. I wanted to try and like, you know, live just normally, I guess you could say. I don't really know how to word it, but I just wanted to get back on my feet, basically. So at the end of February, I was like, okay, I'm gonna look for jobs. I found a job at Sally's Beauty, which is a beauty supply store. And I was like, okay, I got this. Like, I'm gonna work here. This place doesn't care about hair, doesn't care about piercings. Like, so I could be myself. I don't have to worry about like, oh, I have to dye my hair natural, or oh, I have to take my piercings out, which I would never do for a job, by the way. But I was like, okay, this job is lenient about appearance. So like I got that. And I started working, and quickly I realized that I still am struggling with working. I was doing okay mentally when I started, but then like as I went on, my mental health went whoosh. And every night I would cry. I would have like panic attacks. I would freak out, and I would start getting really anxious. Every time on my day off, I would sit there like crying and freaking out because I had to go back to work in a couple days, and I just felt like if I like had to go back to work, like I was going to die. Like it was just like crazy. Now, during this time, I was on medication, and the medication, I feel like all the medications I've been on, because I've tried a lot of different ones, like they either work at first and then like they don't work anymore, or like I'm on them for a while waiting for them to work, and that just never really happens. So I was on medication, and I like thought like, okay, this is not working. So I slowly transitioned off of all my medication, because I just felt like, in all realness, every medication I've tried has not really helped me, and it's just not something I want to be on if I like don't have to, if that makes sense. I have never been a fan of medication. I don't like all the side effects that come with it, or I don't like feeling numb because of it, because that's not helping. That's just like, if I feel numb all the time, like that's not helping. I don't feel like good. I just feel bleh. So I slowly transitioned off my medication, and I got off of all my medication actually last month, which was July. I was only on 3 medications, then I was on 2 medications, and then so what happened was I ended up quitting my job at Sally's, because it just really wasn't helping. My mental health was really bad. When I would go home, I would lay in bed all day. I would cry. I would panic. I couldn't eat because I was just so anxious, and I just couldn't live that way. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put my foot down. I'm not working. every paycheck that I got from Sally's, I basically saved, and I had a bit of money saved up. Like, when I say a bit of money, it was like $400. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. $400 to $300 maybe. So from March till now, I haven't worked, and I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders because I don't have that pressure to have to be okay. And what I mean by that is, when I would work, I think one of the things that really got to me the last time that I worked, when I worked at Sally's, is because I deal with mental health. Like I said already, when I have bad days, they are extremely bad. It's kind of just like I'm either okay or extremely bad. And like, since I would be so bad, when I would have to work, I'd get really anxious because first I had to pretend that I was okay for hours, which is extremely exhausting. And then because I was pretending all the time, I felt even worse. And like, I just felt like I had to be perfect for work because I can't go into work crying. I can't go into work like having a panic attack. So when I quit my job, I just felt this pressure like go off. And to this day, I still feel like that pressure is just not there. I feel more at peace because I don't have to stress about like anything when it comes to work. But at the same time, I have been stressing because I had $300, $400 when I started, but now I only have $80 because obviously time goes on, you need money for things. So I have been stressing, but I know that I cannot work. So one of my biggest struggles right now is what I should do for work, and how I should go about that. Some people have told me to try to go on disability. Some people just said, suck it up and get a job. Some people told me like, oh, just work part-time. But the thing is, I've only worked part-time. I've never worked a full-time job in my life. And part-time is not work for me. So that's kind of been crossed my mind recently of what I should do for work. Because work is something that kind of need to do to live. You need money to do anything, and so when I don't have money, it kind of makes me feel bad about myself because it's like, well, everyone my age is working and they're, going to school, but I'm just laying at home because I can't work. I can't get myself to work, and when I do work, my mental health gets even worse than it already is, and then I can't function even more, and then next thing I know, I haven't brushed my teeth in like 3 weeks because I didn't have the energy to get out of bed to do it, or I didn't eat because I didn't have the energy to make a meal. So I know working is not in my best interest, so I have been stressing about that because to me, obviously, it's important to work, but I just physically can't do it. And so I feel horrible. And I also feel a lot of pressure to work because everyone's working. And that's the only way you're going to get money if you work. To be honest, my dream job has always been to be a YouTuber or a content creator because I have always loved making these videos. I made my first YouTube video back in 5th grade, which I don't have anymore. But I always was like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. And that's one of the reasons why I make these videos. But the main reason is just because I love it so much. I love editing. I love putting my life out there. I love talking to people. So that would ideally be my dream job. But it is very hard work. Some people get super lucky. Other people's it take a long time, or it just may never happen. So I'm never going to give up on this dream because it is important to me. But yeah, my dream job would ideally be to be a YouTuber because I can work from home. I am my own boss. I don't have to necessarily leave my house. And it just is not pressure at all. I enjoy this. So with that being said, work is a struggle right now. And then going back to January, after I quit my job, I was on my own little mission to keep myself going and to feel better. So I started studying Japanese because I've always wanted to learn, and on and off throughout my life since 6th grade, I have been trying to learn. So I started self-studying Japanese. I started to try and have a routine for myself every day, but I was doing the same thing every day. So eventually that ended up getting to me, and I lost interest in everything. And all I can do was lay in bed. So I spent days just in bed all day or sleeping all day, because I just was so burnt out from doing the same thing every day that I just couldn't do it anymore. So from March to April, I was doing the same thing. I was waking up, making myself a matcha, making myself breakfast, trying to work out, trying to meditate, studying Japanese all day. I was just doing these same things. I feel that I have realized a lot throughout this time of not having a job that being alone is not something that I enjoy, and it makes me very depressed. On top of me already just being depressed, being alone makes it worse. And I do not really have any friends. I have I don't even, sometimes I kind of get confused of who are my friends and who are not my friends and what the definition of a friend is. So I have a couple people that I talk to, one or two. But other than that, I don't talk to anybody. I don't see anybody. People don't really ask me to hang out. I don't ask people to hang out because I don't feel like anybody wants to hang out with me. Or they're just super busy, and if I asked them to hang out, they would just say no because they're busy with work or with school. So with that being said, I realized a lot that one thing that in my routine that wasn't working was that I was alone half the time and I wasn't getting out of the house. But what comes into a problem is that I don't have money, and everything is money. To use my car is money. To go to Starbucks to treat myself is money. So I haven't really been able to find anything to do that is not money. So I do live with my boyfriend, and thankfully he will take me out to Marshall's or to Starbucks, or we're going to Spirit Halloween soon. So he'll take me out just to so I get out for the day or to cheer me up. And I really am thankful for that. But he obviously can't spend all his money on me. So, we budget, and if we can go out, we will. But if we can't, then I am stuck at home. So right now, I feel like I've been struggling with work, and I've been struggling with being at home alone. And so, as I said earlier, I was clean from self-harm for 6 months. So from January all the way till July, it didn't really cross my mind. But then, like I also said earlier, sometimes I am okay one day, but then the next day, something just hits me like a car, and I am not okay. And in July, I was very stressed out. I was getting off all my medication, and I was very stressed out, and a lot was happening, and I ended up relapsing. And I feel like relapsing, it just sucks because I was 6 months clean, and I was proud of that because it's been years since I even have been 6 months clean, and then I wasn't, and it just the shame that I felt, and it doesn't even have to be with self-harm. If you've ever been trying to stay clean from something, whether that's drinking or drugs or anything, when you relapse, it's just your whole world feels like it ends. And that's kind of how I felt. I felt really depressed. I felt really suicidal. I just felt like my whole world has ended. I've been trying to work on that, and I've been trying not to do that as best as I can, and to just stay strong. And you know, people always say like, oh, if you relapse, like, give yourself grace, you know, take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself. But it's so hard to like do that, because your worst enemy is yourself. And if you make a mistake, you're probably going to hate yourself more for it than anyone else would. And so that's kind of how I felt towards that. So I feel like we're kind of closer to like this moment. So at this moment, I am struggling with, like I said, working. I cannot work right now, and I'm kind of stuck in between options of what I should do. Then self-harm I'm working on. I'm trying to stay clean and trying to do something else. Medication I'm not on anymore, and I feel like if people see this video, like if a lot of people see this video, because sometimes my videos like blow up, sometimes they don't. I have tried many different medications. I'm not going to list them all because I don't even remember them all, but I've tried many different medications, and most of the time I felt worse on them, or I felt the same, or I felt nothing. And the medications I was on, one of them made me super paranoid. That's why I got off of it in the first place. The other two did not do anything for me. I felt no more depressed, no less depressed. So I'm not on any medication because I just feel like it wasn't working with me. And I don't like medicine that much, so why be on it if it's not helping me? So for those of you that are going to say you could be better if you were on medication, I've tried, and it hasn't really worked for me. So medication, not on any. My biggest struggle right now is finding something that works for me. I've tried a lot of different things. I've been in therapy for a while, and I just feel like nothing is really helping me get to a place of stableness and peacefulness. So I just want to say, if there is anyone else out there that is struggling, we're all in this together. One thing that annoys me a lot throughout this journey that I've been going on is when people say, don't worry, it will get better. Because that phrase can lead to a lot of, I don't know what the word is, but it's very vague, I guess. Like, oh, don't worry, it will get better. And then, like, you're like, okay, yeah, it will get better. And then you keep going. And sometimes it gets worse and worse and worse. And then you think about that phrase and you're like, you know what? That's what happens for me. So I don't like to use the phrase, oh, don't worry, it will get better, because I don't personally like that phrase, because sometimes it doesn't get better. And sometimes maybe it will get better, but it takes a very long time. And so throughout the time that you're waiting for it to get better, it gets worse, and then you're like, maybe it will never get better. And like, I just don't like that phrase. I feel like I've talked a lot in this video, so I want to kind of wrap it up because I know this video is long, and I feel like I've just been rambling on. But so to keep it short, how am I doing right now? I'm not doing the best. I'm struggling with a lot of different things, like I said, with work, with self-harm, with friends, with being alone, with finding the right thing for me. I am in therapy. I go once or twice a week, depending on how I feel and depending on my therapist's availability. I want to try my best to just keep working on myself, because throughout this journey, I feel like I always forget all the good moments, because I can't always enjoy the moments that are supposed to be good. Like, I just went camping, and it's not that I didn't enjoy it, but like I would like do something and then like 5 minutes later like I would be like feeling really depressed. And I just feel like my emotions can just be all over the place sometimes, so it is hard to like really enjoy the good moments. Or like there have been many concerts that I've been to within like this last year or so, and like I would go and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this, and when I was there all I could feel was anxiety, and I didn't enjoy it like I wanted to. And I was like so in my head that like it felt like it never happened because I couldn't be in the moment. So yeah, just to put it short, I'm not doing my best right now. I haven't been doing good for a long time, but I'm trying my best. And I want to thank everyone who watched this video, and I just want anyone else out there that feels like this to know that you're not alone, because I'm right here with you. I've been struggling for a long time, and the battle is never ending. And just know that you're never alone. Even on your worst days, you're never alone. You may not know a person, but there are other people out there that are struggling. I will, of course, keep you guys updated on my mental health, and keep making videos because I love making videos. But I just wanted to give you guys like a reality of my life right now. It's not going like this right now. It's just going. And I'm trying my best to stay hopeful, but hope has been something I've struggled with for a while now. And I'm trying to just get on my feet, get stable, and hopefully be able to start doing things so I can progress in my life. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope to see you guys next time. Next video will not be as depressing, I promise. I hope you enjoyed the last 2 videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.